Did ancient philosophers predict artificial intelligence? No. But even without predicting it, they sent us some warnings, some things to pay attention to. Imagine explaining ChatGPT to a philosopher from ancient Greece. You tell him that humans have created a machine that can write essays, answer questions, imitate conversations, generate art and music, and possibly reshape civilization itself. Would he be shocked? Probably. But strangely, he might also say, I warned you about this. Okay, time for some full disclosure. You might be wondering, did AI write the script for this video? No, it didn't. But I did use ChatGPT for some of the ideation. The main thing AI contributed was the suggestion to go beyond just Stoic philosophers. It was a good idea, so I used it. So along with the Stoics, we will also be hearing from Plato, Socrates, Lao Tzu, and Confucius. And I appreciate ChatGPT for making this more inclusive. Now, back to the originally scheduled video. Long before computers existed, ancient philosophers were already asking the exact kinds of questions that artificial intelligence forces us to confront today. Questions like, what is intelligence? What separates knowledge from wisdom? Can something appear intelligent without truly understanding? And perhaps the biggest question of all, what happens when humans create tools more powerful than their own self-control? The strange truth is that many of the deepest AI debates are actually ancient philosophical debates wearing modern clothes. Let's start with Plato. Plato believed that knowledge without wisdom could become dangerous. In one of his writings, he even criticized the invention of writing itself. He worried that people would confuse stored information with genuine understandings. Now, before you think Plato was a paranoid nut, think back to your last text or email that was misinterpreted. Would it have been misunderstood if the message had been delivered in person, face to face? Think about that for a second. Over 2,000 years ago, Plato feared technology that could spread knowledge without creating wisdom. That's really disturbingly modern. Today, AI can produce essays, explanations, and answers almost instantly. But Plato would probably ask the simple question, does it truly understand anything? Or is it just imitating understanding? And honestly, that question still doesn't have a clear answer. Modern AI systems can sound intelligent. They can debate philosophy, write poetry, music, explain physics, and counsel you about your relationship. But are they conscious? Do they possess wisdom? Or are they simply predicting the next word in a sequence with incredible sophistication? Plato might argue that imitation and understanding are not the same thing. Civilizations can become hypnotized by systems that sound wise without actually being wise. Then there's Socrates. Socrates spent his entire life exploring how little people understood. He questioned politicians, poets, and scholars until they realized their confidence exceeded their wisdom. If Socrates encountered AI today, he would probably do exactly the same thing. He would interrogate it endlessly. How do you know this? What do you mean by understanding? Can a machine possess judgment? And eventually we would arrive at one of the biggest philosophical questions in artificial intelligence. Is intelligence the same as consciousness? AI can already simulate many forms of intelligence, but simulation may not be the same thing as awareness. A calculator can solve equations without understanding mathematics. Likewise, AI might possess language without experiencing meaning. And that distinction may turn out to be incredibly important. Well, let's not leave out Aristotle. Aristotle believed everything had purpose, what he called telos. A knife exists to cut. A seed exists to grow. Humans exist to flourish through reason and virtue. So Aristotle would likely ask uncomfortable questions about AI. What is its purpose? Not what can it do, but what is it for? Does it help humanity become wiser, more courageous, more thoughtful? Or does it simply make life faster, louder, and distracting? Aristotle believed technology should serve human flourishing, not replace it. And honestly, that may be one of the most important questions of the next century. Will AI deepen human wisdom or weaken the very qualities that make wisdom possible? But what about the Stoics? I promised that, right? This is where things become eerily relevant. Stoic philosophers, like Epictetus, believe that human suffering often comes from surrendering control of the mind to external forces. Now think about modern algorithms, social media feeds, recommendation engines, AI systems optimized to capture attention. These technologies don't merely give us information anymore. They shape emotion. They influence desire. They guide attention. The Stoics would likely see this as extremely dangerous. Not because machines are evil, but because humans are easily manipulated. The Stoics taught that freedom begins with control over your own thoughts. But modern technology increasingly competes for control of those thoughts every second of the day. In a strange way, ancient Stoicism may become more important in the AI age, not less. The more persuasive technology becomes, the more valuable inner discipline becomes. Well, we can't forget about Confucius. Confucian philosophy focused heavily on relationships, moral behavior, and social harmony. Confucius would probably worry less about whether AI is intelligent and much more about what it does to human relationships. Does it isolate people, replace teachers, reduce human connection? We already see signs of this tension today. People increasingly interact with screens more than with each other. And as AI becomes more human-like, society may face difficult questions about companionship, trust, and emotional dependency on machines. Okay, finally we come to Lao Tzu and the Taoists. Taoist philosophy warned against excessive control and artificial complexity. And if there's one thing modern society loves, it's optimization. Faster productivity, more efficiency, more prediction, more control. But Taoism asks a profound question. What happens when humanity becomes obsessed with controlling everything? Do we become wiser or simply more disconnected from reality? The Taoists believed that forcing life too aggressively often creates imbalance rather than harmony. That idea feels incredibly relevant in an age racing toward artificial superintelligence. Perhaps the greatest danger of AI is not the machines becoming too intelligent. Perhaps it's that humans become too disconnected from wisdom. And that may be the deepest lesson ancient philosophy offers us. The real AI problem has never been technology. It's humanity. AI amplifies human intention, human wisdom and compassion. That's great. But AI also amplifies human greed, fear, ambition, and human foolishness. That's not so great. So the central question isn't merely, how powerful will AI become? The deeper question is, will humanity become wise enough to handle the power it creates? And that's not a modern question at all. It's one of the oldest philosophical questions ever asked. Okay, let's do a little experiment. After all, philosophy is just a bunch of words if you don't put it into practical use. Choose one aspect of AI that you either fear or love. It doesn't have to be a big thing, just something to use for this experiment. Go ahead and pause this video if you need some time. And take your time. I'm going to take maybe a 10-second coffee break. Okay, let's get started. Now that you have something you fear or love about AI, let's ask a few questions. How specifically will this aspect of AI affect human wisdom? How specifically will this aspect of AI affect your relationships? What will you do to remind yourself that AI is neither wise, intelligent, nor conscious? How will you use AI without being manipulated by it? So here's the experiment. For the next week, answer each of these questions once every day. The answers may or may not change. Don't worry about that. Just answer truthfully at the time. And consider reviewing this video halfway through the week to see if you've gained any new insights. Hopefully this will bring some clarity to your attitude about AI in your life. Now, philosophy thrives in conversation and argument. Please add your comments below. To go deeper, check the description and pinned comment for additional resources. And if you found this helpful, I would appreciate it very much if you gave a gentle tap to the like and subscribe buttons. Remember, in all things and at all times, be a philosopher.